Hello everybody, this is Fleagle 2000. What I wanted to do today was show a design I just came up with for a record studio. So it's basically a specialized mob spawner that generates music discs. So as you're probably aware, to get a music disc, what needs to happen is a skeleton needs to kill a creeper with an arrow. So in the wild, what you would do is you would piss off a skeleton, get him to chase you, then piss off a creeper, and somehow run around, get the creeper to get between you and the skeleton, and get the skeleton to shoot him until he's dead. Obviously, when you do it that way, you want to weaken the skeleton. Sorry, you want to weaken the creeper first so that the skeleton can finish him off relatively quickly, and then you get rid of the skeleton, of course. Now, there's a slightly easier way to do it in the wild. It's actually quite effective, almost as effective as building a big contraption like this, and that's just well, I'll show you. So this is something you might use to to get music discs in the wild. It's a very simple design that I first saw used by Hamachi Warrior. I'm sure other people have come up with this design independently, but because it's a very simple design, but it works. It actually works quite effectively, almost as effectively as this thing here. So it might not be worth your while to actually make a special mob spawner just to get records. If you're willing to put a little bit of time in, you can get records pretty quickly using this method. So yeah, so it's basically you build a roof here. What this does is it'll prevent the enemies from escaping the trap. And basically what you do is you put 4 pistons around a central oops 4 pistons around a central central block there, and then you place a pressure plate in the middle, and basically what that does is when an enemy walks over the pressure plate, it causes the pistons to raise, and the enemy can't escape because the ceiling is stopping him. Okay, so let's try it out. So I'm in creative mode, so he won't initially follow me, but if I tick him off, he should start following me. Yeah. So I just lure him into the trap. He gets stuck there. Now we need a creeper. There was one around here, but he must have despawned. So we'll get a creeper. Same deal. We'll piss him off. Now you have to be careful here. Oh, oops. Oh. Okay, so that wasn't good. Okay, let's try that again. So yeah, that was totally unstaged and unscripted. I've just replaced the trap that exploded. So it is, case in point, it is dangerous to do this because if the creeper gets too close to you, you could destroy everything that you've worked for. Another good thing about having a simple design is that it's easy to fix. So yeah, let's try that again. So we get ourselves a creeper. I'm just going to make it a bit easier on myself and spawn them like this. Now, tick them off. And this time we're not going to step on the pressure pad. We're going to let the creeper do that. So now you've got your creeper and your skeleton. Now the skeleton should start shooting at me. What I'm going to do is, he doesn't seem to want to, so I'm going to switch out of cheater mode. So yeah, the skeleton's going to start shooting at me. If you want to hurry up the process, you can give the creeper a couple shots. Oops, okay, that wasn't good. So let's try that again. Sorry, I keep botching this. Okay. So yeah. Okay, he's trapped. This other creeper wants a piece of me, so I'm going to take him out quickly. So we'll give this creeper a couple shots to the bow just to weaken him up so we don't have to wait as long. Then I'm going to get into position. Skeleton's shooting at me. Okay, there. So now he's good. He's dead. You grab the disc, which is ward. But yeah, that's basically how you catch record music discs in the wild. So it's not as hard as it might, as if you did it without using any tools at all. Just you and your bow. Not the most effective. This is much more effective and easy to set up. So let's move on to the mob spawner. Right, so this will automate the process a little bit better. If you're having trouble with this design, like if you happen to find a skeleton but you're having a devil of a time finding a creeper, it's always when you want them that they don't show up, and when you don't want them that they do show up. So it seems to be the way it is. But anyway, so this is I'll show you the mechanism downstairs first, and I'll talk about the mob spawners up above. So I've encased this all in glass just to let you see some of the workings. I've used obsidian for a lot of the construction because it's creeper proof. Now the mechanism isn't completely creeper proof. If somehow one of these creepers was to explode, it would take out some of this glass. It would take out the sign that's preventing that water there from falling in. And I'll get to that in a second. So basically what happens is you've got two chambers. In this chamber you want to get a skeleton, and in this chamber you want, well, creepers. So what I have is up there, there's a skeleton spawner. So if you can find a skeleton spawner in the wild and sort of build the mob spawner around it, that's probably the best bet, because you only want skeletons to fall into this chamber, and ideally you only want creepers falling into this chamber. Now we'll talk about how to filter out the other mobs in a second, but really easy to filter out other mobs in this chamber if you're using a skeleton spawner, because, well, other monsters just won't spawn up there. Now I've used the mob spawner design where you encase the spawner in a box and then you put water on the ground. So mob spawners, monster spawners, work a bit different from normal spawns in that when the monster spawns from monster spawner, he can spawn over the water, whereas normally mobs won't spawn in midair. They need a block to spawn on. But that's the nice thing about this, is that no other mobs will spawn in here because they have nowhere to spawn, and you'll only get skeletons. And what I've also done is, and this is a bit overkill, you don't need this many lamps, but I've just put a ceiling on it with redstone lamps so that I can turn the mob spawner on and off. So when it's fully lit, it won't get any skeletons, because you only need one skeleton down here, so you only need to run it enough time to get a skeleton down here. So there isn't a skeleton in here yet, so I need to turn off the light. So skeleton spawner up is on, so that means the light is off. It's a bit confusing. And then this tower here, so the slimes would get out of my way. You've got some redstone going to this tower, and this is a really nice vertical redstone transmission line that I only recently discovered, which is ingenious, and I'm a little bit embarrassed that I only realized you could do that recently. What I used to do was build a staircase and send redstone up the staircase, which is much more time consuming. This is a much nicer design. Anyway, so that's just to turn on and off the mob spawner. So now we've got a skeleton in there. We can turn off the mob spawner. We don't need any more. Okay, so we've got our skeleton in there. We got our creepers in there, and now, and if we switch our game mode, survival. Now, just stand here. Skeleton will shoot, kill the creepers, and you get some records. I've installed this arrow launcher here to speed up the process. And you have to be careful, especially if you have multiple creepers in there, because they might have different health levels. And you don't want to kill them with this, because if you kill them with this, they won't drop a record. You want the skeleton to kill them. So if you had like just one creeper in here, say, you could give them, I think it's 4 shots of this, and then when the skeleton hits him, he'll die. Now, one thing I haven't done, I haven't installed a mechanism to turn off this mob spawner. I could do that very simply. I could do it either just by putting a choke point and a piston to seal it off, or I could put you know, a lighted ceiling in, like I did on this one. Of course. So now the creeper has dropped all their stuff there. So you would open this up and the records would come out, but wait, they're not coming out because you need to turn on the water. So I'll explain why I don't just leave the water like that, why I have a switch. So basically, I only want creepers in here. So if any other mobs should happen to get in here, like say a zombie or a skeleton, what I've done is left this open. So monsters fall down here, get pushed into here, but now if it happened to be a zombie or a skeleton, they'll die in the light. However, if there's water in the chamber, they'll take a little bit longer to die, because every time they jump around a lot, and when they fall back in the water, they extinguish. So if you want them to die almost instantly, you want to turn off the water, which is just this switch here turns off the water flow. I'll close that. And so now when any skeletons or zombies fall in, they will die from the light. So this design only really works in the daytime. Now, one thing you want to be careful of with this is if a skeleton happens to fall in and he hasn't quite died yet, if he's in the same booth as the creeper and he shoots at you but accidentally hits the creeper will attack that skeleton and actually explode, and you don't want that, because then he could muck up the works a bit. There is no completely creeper-proof design for this, well, not that I've come up with. If you'd like to try it yourself, try to come up with a design where a creeper can't destroy the mechanism even if it explodes. By all means, try it out and post a video about it, because I'd love to see that. I haven't figured it out yet, but anyway, it's something you might want to consider if you want to improve on this design. Right, so you got your skeleton in there, and you got your creeper in there, and then you get the skeleton to shoot them, and then they drop music discs, which comes out there when the water is on. Okay, so I've also installed water in here. Now I usually leave it off, but I turn it on just to show you. If you wanted to put a similar mechanism here, so that if you wanted to get like arrows or bows or bones or something from the skeletons, you can install a. So I'll show you the rest of the mechanism. So basically, you've seen how this all works. So they drop in there. There's a little a thing of water that carries them and drops them in there. Why don't I just have them drop straight down into there? Well, first of all, it wouldn't let me kill the zombies and skeletons with sun, because you need a direct line to kill them with the sun. You know, if I don't have water in there, then when they drop from the mob spawner, they just die on impact. So you just have, you know, the water to cushion them, and then it carries them in to the chamber. So what I've done, I'm still kind of experimenting here with this design, but basically you just have a dark room. So what I had, those iron bars are from an iron golem. So this is a bit redundant. You don't need it if you have the sunlight trap down there. But you could build an iron golem and put him in here, and then he'll kill everything. He'll kill anything but creepers. So you could put him in here, if only to kill the spiders, because we don't have anything in this design that will automatically remove spiders. So what will happen is, you know, eventually spiders will keep spawning in this dark room, and they'll just clog up the works. They'll add to the spawn count, and you won't get other things spawning. So eventually this room will just fill up with spiders, and the efficiency of your trap will go way down. So I know I had an iron golem in here. He's been killed. That's the one thing about this design, is if you use an iron golem, well, you know, eventually the monsters will kill the iron golem, and then you're SOL. Now, one thing that you can do is build a little staircase like this to a door, and now there's a villager in there. I don't know if you can see him, and then I have this piston set up on a timer that just turns on and off constantly, and then lava down in the pit. So what happens is when zombies spawn in here, the zombies will pathfind their way up the staircase and they'll try to get through this door, but what will happen is they'll walk over the piston when it's closed, and then when it opens they'll fall to their deaths. So that gets rid of the zombies. So it's a little bit more complex. You could just let the sun kill everything except the spiders and put a golem in here to kill the spiders. You need to bother with this, because the zombies would either get killed by the iron golem or die in the sun. So this is really just a redundancy that I've added just to make it as efficient as possible. So there's a villager in there, a zombie, sorry, tries to get him, and then falls to his death. So, and it works quite effectively. So I'll show you. Yeah, so if we have some zombies in here, say, what'll happen is they'll all just walk up there, and you can see it works very well. Now this is a good design you could use if you wanted to make for whatever reason you wanted to make a mob trap that just caught zombies. So, I mean, it would be kind of useful, because zombies do drop helmets and swords and iron ingots sometimes. So yeah, you could make a zombie trap like this, just this, a dark room and a door with a villager behind it, and one of these things, except obviously you wouldn't put lava underneath. You'd have some other kind of kill mechanism to destroy the zombies. But yeah, very, very effective zombie farm. It would be. But as it is, I don't really care for the zombies. That's not the purpose of this mob trap. This is just your basic clock that runs the piston, and that's very simple to build. You just have a couple of repeaters, and now I'm doing this using vanilla redstone. I play on a server where we use a mod. It's called Redstone Chips by Eisenthal. Anyway, we use that on the server, but this I'm doing this in single player, so I needed a mechanism that worked just using normal redstone. So you could do this. This entire design works completely in with vanilla. You don't need any mods to do this at all. So you place a redstone torch there, and then you grab yourself some redstone, and we break the connection, wait for one of them to turn off, and then you have to very quickly place the redstone. And then what will happen is when that thing's still on, it'll send the on signal to this, and it'll go on an endless loop until you log off. Because every time you log on again, you'll have to reset this. So it's kind of annoying. So this design, there's a lot of things to replace. If you use the iron golem, you'd have to replace the iron golem in the chamber. You appear to have to replace the villager. You could probably come up with a way, if you had a town nearby or something, you could probably come up with a way to just to get villagers to constantly resupply this little room here. So you can see our little villager is in there, just hanging out in the dark. Yeah. Anyway, so that's it basically. This is the record studio, as I like to call it. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed the video, please press like and leave a comment if you like. If there was something you didn't like about the video, you have some suggestions for future episodes, things you'd like me to do, that sort of thing, you can also comment. I'm definitely open to criticism and comments. I want to, my aim is to entertain and to get better, so please let me know if there's anything that I can do to improve. And also, like, if you have an idea or you've seen a better design for a record studio, you could let me know, or post a reply to this video or something. That would be cool. So yeah, thank you to Hamachi Warrior for coming up with this design. It's quite clever. And also, I mean, this design here was based on a design by another fellow. I don't recall his username at the current moment, but I can put it in the description. I'll add it to the description below. And anyway, he came up with this basic design with the chambers and whatnot. I've improved on it. I've added filters and whatnot to keep certain mobs from spawning. But the basic design of having two chambers where they drop into each one has been done before. So this isn't my design completely. I didn't come up with it from scratch, that is to say. Anyway, well, thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to showing you other things I've built in the future. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.